Words of Sri Aurobindo from the book The Mother, Part 2, Letters on the Mother by Our Lord, Chapter 9, The Mother and the Working of the Ashram, page 296. Sri Aurobindo says, the mother was giving freely of her physical contact in former years. If the sadhaks had had the right reactions, do you think she would have drawn back and reduced it to a minimum? Of course, if people know in what spirit to receive from her, the physical touch is a great thing. But for that, the constant physical nearness is not necessary. That rather creates a pressure of the highest forces, which how many can meet? Date 22nd April 1933. It is the ego, says Sri Aurobindo. It is the ego that wants the satisfaction of being the first or specially singled out. It is this egoistic vital demand with all its consequent results and disturbances that made it necessary for mother to limit the physical manifestation of nearness to a minimum. Date 17th April 1935. The one thing important is to keep the inner attitude and establish the inner connection with the mother independent of all outward circumstances. It is that brings all that is needed. Those who are deep in the yoga are not those who physically see most of the mother. There are some who are in constant nearness or union with her, who, apart from the pranam and the evening meditation, come to her only once a year. Date 13th November 1934. There is more profit to be had by being open to the mother than by coming physically to her at the present stage. Some even who make a point of her calling them backward rather than forward, because they make a point of it, introducing thus a basis of vital demand which makes a shaky foundation for relations with the mother. Question: is it not true that one who sees the mother more often and talks with her receives more light by being in her presence? For this, Sri Aurobindo says no. It depends entirely on the condition of the person and his attitude, especially if they insist on seeing her or on remaining when she wants them to go, or are in a bad mood and throw it on her. It is very harmful for them to see her. Each should be contented with what the mother gives them, for she alone feels what they can or cannot receive. Mental constructions of this kind and vital demands are always false. Date 3rd April 1933. There is a confusion here. The mother's grace is one thing, the call to change another, the pressure of nearness to her is yet another. Those who are physically near to her are not so by any special grace or favor, but by the necessity of their work. That is what everybody here refuses to understand or believe, but it is the fact. That nearness acts automatically as a pressure, if for nothing else, to adapt their consciousness to hers, which means change. But it is difficult for them because the difference between the two consciousnesses is enormous, especially on the physical level, and it is on the physical level that they are meeting her in the work. Date 27th April 1944. Question: Is it true that those who are bodily nearest to the mother are those who are open to her, one with her will, and close to her in their inner being? Is it not also a fact that there are certain special advantages in being bodily near to the mother? For this question, Sri Aurobindo says, it is not easy to be one with the will of the mother or to be entirely open. To be bodily close imposes a constant pressure for progress, for perfection, which no one yet has been able to meet. People have romantic ideas in this matter which are not true. The demand of A was to live inside or have free access to the mother's room at all times, which is not allowed to anybody, neither to be or see nor anyone else, and to be an equality with or a superiority with over those who were admitted. Such a demand shows a total ignorance of the reasons which are behind the admission. It has nothing to do with the special grace or favor and also of the fitness of things. If she had been allowed, she would not have been able to bear it even for a few days. B and C are different. They have special work to do, which makes it necessary for them to come close to the mother or to see her often. It has nothing at all to do with any superiority in the sadhana, as you have yourself pointed out by quoting the examples of D, etc. Date 7th March 1935. It would be most foolish to call back this meaningless delusion, for nothing can be farther from the actual and practical truth than to suppose that those who are in physical nearness to the mother or have frequent physical approach are happier or more satisfied than others. It is not the least true, or to allow it to prevent the progress of the inner peace. If you would only get rid of this delusion, nothing would be able to prevent the growth of the peace and that inner nearness which alone makes people in this ashram divinely happy. Happiness comes from the soul's satisfaction, not from the vitals or the bodies. The vital is never satisfied. The body soon ceases to be moved at all by what it easily is or always has. Only the psychic being brings the real joy and felicity. Date 8 September 1934.